gentlemen, make a little noise for these guys and gals that are wrestling here on these mats here tonight. Next up, it's bout number 7, presented by Rockwell Watches, the official timekeeper of the World Team Trials, rockwellwatches.com. If you're ready, 70 kilos up next, the best 2 of the 3. Introducing first, out of Willingboro, New Jersey, part of the Titan Mercury Wrestling Club and Nebraska Wrestling Training Center. Please welcome James Green. And from the Minnesota Storm out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, please welcome back Dustin Schlater. We go to mat 2 for the introductions there. Please welcome out of Beaumont, California, a Titan Mercury Wrestling Club member, a 2014 University Nationals champion. Please welcome Amanda Hendey. And her opponent, best 2 of 3, Colorado Springs, Colorado, for Sunkist Kids, a 2015 U.S. Open champion, Erin Clodgo.
Okay, here we go, Mark. We got 63 kilo women's match 2 coming your way. And in round number 1, it was the underdog, Amanda Hendey, pinning Erin Clodgo when she's down 8-0 in the match. So Clodgo, the heavy favorite coming in, gives up round number 1. So no room for error for the U.S. Open champion from this year. And Hendey, just graduated from King University, young bright star here on the senior level. We'll see what happens, what adjustments were made. If you're Clodgo, I got to imagine you stick with what was working in the first match, and just continue to rack up the points. I mean, that's all you can really do. Just don't give up the big move.
Yeah, that's got to give you some confidence. So if you're Hendey, you come out on this big stage. I believe it's her first time out on this big stage like this, and to come out and get the fall over Erin Clodgo, that's a huge win.
Yeah, Clodgo, ranked number 17 in the world by United World Wrestling. Actually, in this spot the last few years, but unfortunately has had Elena Pierzkova, who was your world silver medalist last year. She's a 4-time world medalist and a world champion. She's been the dominant force at 63 kilos stateside. She's bumping up to 69 kilos this year. So it's made way for Clodgo to finally, push through and get on that world team. And she's definitely one of the best in the world, proven that by international results.
And this is a women's team that's really going to make some noise at the World Championships in Las Vegas. This is going to be a fun team, and they're really putting together a good squad.
Absolutely. So right now, we are still scoreless, about halfway through the first. And it seems like we've got a real feisty match. You see a low-level attempt, almost an ankle pick attempt from Hendey. Clodgo's cutting the corner here. She's locked around the leg, trying to take it over the top, get some exposure. I don't think we see exposure there. No points awarded, still scoreless. Mat official will blow it dead when we come back to the feet. Remember the U.S. Open finals, these two got into it. I mean, the mat official had to step in between them because Clodgo was about to run Hendey down after a blown whistle. So no love lost between these two. It's going to be a battle and a brawl.
Yeah, and I'm sure it didn't it sparked even more of a fire under Erin Clodgo being up 8-0 and getting pinned in that first match.
As if she needed more fuel to the fire.
More gasoline on the fire for her.
But I am impressed with Hendey here early on in the match. She's on the shot clock now, but you got to figure Clodgo had to be fired up after that fall and would come out with that fire, but she hasn't shown that yet.
And maybe it was almost a little more respect that she gained in the fact that she was up 8-0, gets pinned, and maybe it brought her down a little and it boosted Hendey's confidence a little more higher than she had it coming into that first match. I mean, getting a win. Now your Clodgo, she may be having some nerves built up in her, knowing that if I lose this match, I don't make the team.
Very valid point. And we see a point on the board now for Erin Clodgo. She takes the 1-0 lead via that shot clock. And we're entering the later stages of this first period. And it's been Hendey controlling things from the tie-up perspective. Yeah. She's working a 2-on-1 rather solidly. Outside high C attempt there from Amanda Hendey. Gets sucked back up into the underhooks. 10 seconds left in the first. Clodgo dives underneath. And we are going to have a 1-0 lead in favor of Erin Clodgo as we head to the break. But Hendey hanging right in there. And as we mentioned, she's got the 1-0 lead in the series as the underdog. So right in the thick of things to make her first world team.
Yeah. And if you're Hendey, she's doing a real good job controlling these ties. I mean, you look at the first match, a lot more points scored for Erin Clodgo as she was up 8-0 before she got pinned. And if you're Hendey, this is a lot closer of a match than it was before. And she's doing a lot better of a job of keeping this close where she might not have to rely on a fall to win the match.
Absolutely. We're heading back for period number 2. Between your U.S. Open champion, Erin Clodgo, and your U.S. Open runner-up, Amanda Hendey. Like I said before, we're going to see a fresh face on the world team at 63 kilos this year with Elena Pirishkova, the 4-time world medalist, moving up to 69 kilos. She'll battle Randy Miller and company tomorrow.
Hendey doing a good job in that front head, pulling down. As Clodgo gets back to her underhooks. And they break out of that tie.
A little bit more reserved match from Erin Clodgo. But up 1-0. You got to push the pace, though. She's going high single. We could see some points scored here. We got an over-under hip lock wizard situation. Clodgo putting a lot of pressure on the shoulder of Amanda Hendey. Pressuring in. And that'll probably be a point for Clodgo is confirmed. 2-0 Erin Clodgo boosts that lead up a little bit. But once again, still within striking distance for Amanda Hendey. See what kind of offense she can muster in the later stages of this match because Clodgo is just a very solid wrestler. She's strong, she's physical, doesn't get out of position much. So it's going to be a tall task for Hendey. But as we saw in match number 1, she is capable.
Yeah, if you're Amanda Hendey, you got to get something going here, and you got to figure out what your best setup and shot is to get to your offense. You want to be able to score here, and a score here puts her in the lead. So she's really got to get going here. And Clodgo doing a good job of slowing her down with that 2-on-1, able to really pull and get Hendey out of her game.
I was going to say, first things first, you got to keep Clodgo out of her ties. And right now, Clodgo's controlling the ties, and if she continues to do that, she's going to win this match.
Yeah.
Back to that 2-on-1 is Clodgo. She's trying to isolate the right wrist of Hendey. Hendey going 2-on-1 left side. Drags it across, but to no avail. We still have a 2-0 score in favor of Erin Clodgo. 1 minute to go. Erin Clodgo trying to force match number 3 in this series. Amanda Hendey trying to make her first world team. So all the stakes on the line here in round 2 between Clodgo and Hendey. 63 kilos. And that's going to be a passivity on Erin Clodgo. That's her verbal warning. So no 30-second shot clock.
45 seconds left. You would think that this is where Hendey's got to go. She's got to get a score here, clear that tie, clear that 2-on-1, because this could be a huge match that she could really just steal. It's kind of been all Clodgo this match. She could really steal this match here and end up getting the spot.
In position that she wants to be in, at least having a shot in the match in the waning moments. But Clodgo, she's going to hold on to this 2-on-1 as long as the official lets her. So 19 seconds left as they break the action. Enough for one last effort from Amanda Hendey. What does she have in her bag of tricks? She's in on the single leg shot attempt. Clodgo keeps her distance. And Hendey again picking up the pace, snapping heavy on the head. And Clodgo going to get hit with a fleeing call. Will give up a caution and a point, but it will not matter as Erin Clodgo going to take this one 2-1 over Amanda Hendey. She forces a round 3 matchup, winner take all for a spot on the world team at 63 kilos in women's freestyle. It's going to be a good one. So that's our second round 3.